It seems like they were really trying to contain the story, create their own narrative. So how were you guys able to get access to these girls? Because it seemed like they really wanted to control the messaging that came out of the situation.
So when I first went out to Nigeria, it was November 2016, and it was just a few weeks after the government had finally managed to negotiate the release of 21 girls. And so when I started having these meetings with Department of State Security, who was in charge of the girls, I think they were in a position where they felt like they'd achieved something, and they were proud, you know, and they were like, oh, well, and you know, I have to say that I think because I was a Westerner, because I was saying, you know, it's HBO, and the West is interested, I think that's why they also listened to me and they opened the door, and I started being able to have these meetings and discuss, you know, the possibility of filming with the girls. But, you know, by the time we actually started filming with the girls, another 82 girls had been released. So I think they were willing to kind of say, hey, like, yeah, it took us 3 years, but you know, and now it was a different administration. So the president, Buhari, part of his campaign was that he could rescue these girls. So, you know, they wanted to show that they had achieved, they hadn't rescued all of them, but they started.
But you still had some restraints in how you could cover the story, right?
Yeah, so I, you know, again, several meetings with government officials, and then I had a meeting with the Minister of Women's Affairs, who is briefly in our film, a very strong woman who looked at me and she was like, okay, but if we let you in, you can't talk to them about what happened in the forest. And I asked her why. And she said, you know, she framed it as, you know, we don't want to re-traumatize them. We don't want them to go back to that space. If you're asking them questions, we'll re-traumatize them. And, you know, there is a truth to that in a way. You know, the 82 girls, when we started filming, had only been released like 6 weeks before, 2 weeks. So it was fresh, you know. And so for her, it was about safeguarding the girls. And I think that it was also shrouded slightly in the fact that, you know, there's a lot of shame. The government feels a lot of shame that it took so long to release, to get them out. And they, you know, still today sustain that, you know, the girls weren't actually harmed, that they weren't, you know, raped. So they were trying to control the narrative in that sense.